Welcome back to the Mysterious Challenger Cup, brought to you by Multiplay as part of the Insomnia Truesilver Championship, the first one in 2016. $30,000 on the line in the main championship. With the winner of our cup over these 2 days will get a VIP package, all expenses paid, a computer to play on, free access to Insomnia as well. I'm your host, Callum Leslie, joined still by Raven. Raven, the tournament's really heating up and a lot of the big names have fallen out.
Yeah, definitely, and it shows just like what one of these tournaments is like, and something we're going to see a change of over this year in terms of more open tournaments in general is that like it's going to reward consistency over a longer period of time as opposed to just performing in one singular tournament and actually like say winning it, which is fantastic, of course. But the true test will be consistency over multiple tournaments, multiple opens, multiple online cups, and so on.
Alright, we'll just get your play started for a round 3 game. It's going to be SK.Powder versus dignitas.Anakin. This is probably our first big clash of the known players we've seen in the bracket so far. So one of these known players is going to drop out. Of course, Anakin won the Dignitas UK Hearthstone Talent Search last year, right?
Yeah, he won the game of search, and he had to battle through a Swiss tournament with UK. I think it's UK players only, and then go on to continue and actually get the spot. So really good. He's a really nice guy as well. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times, and then yeah, he's going to be versus Powder, who's another of the team SK. He did really well. He got top 4 at PGL the other weekend in Romania, so that was a good performance overall. Because he had to qualify for that online, as well as then battle through Swiss. He beat Tice in the top 8, which is nothing to be sniffed at. So I think Powder's probably favoured here, as he's on form as well recently. But Anakin is definitely, as he said, not an unknown name and definitely pretty good in himself.
Yep, just waiting for these guys to invite me to spectate so I can actually see this game, which would be nice.
They're not inviting you.
They don't want to see me, unfortunately. Okay, we're just getting ready with it here. Powder versus Anakin, as we said. Powder, kind of a serial second place player, right? He is second place at things like GigaCon, second place at Assembly. I seem to remember he got second at another tournament recently as well.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but he did get, most recently he was top 4 at PGL.
Did win Insomnia 54.
Yes, he did, yeah.
A year ago.
He beat Exploding Cow in the finals.
Absolutely. So here we go. It's going to be Powder versus Anakin. Powder starting on the Warlock, which looks like it could be some kind of Demon Handlock.
It's actually Demon Reno Lock.
Okay.
Yeah, he played this in PGL and it actually worked really well for him. He thinks, or at least he's played this version the most, and he also thinks it's actually the best overall. Like across the board, not like the best against certain matchups specifically, but just the best general deck. And it's not something a lot of people are prepared for actually as well. Like when we were casting it first in the PGL tournament, it was like, oh, so it's demons. Oh, so it's Reno. Oh, okay, this isn't like a common variant. So, like I said, the Void Caller is a huge threat, and as we can see already, Void Caller into Dread Infernal or into even Jiraxxus against Paladin is going to be pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we've seen with Reno Lock, is that they can kind of tech out and put sort of plug and play, I guess, a little bit with different sets of cards in the Reno Lock. So you take the spine of that kind of control handlocky style Warlock deck. Obviously, you have to take out a lot of the duplicates, and what you're replacing those with, you can replace them with a burst combo with Arcane Golems and Power Overwhelming and Faceless. You can replace it with more AoE for more control, more healing, and some people are replacing it with this suite of demons here.
Yeah, and this is actually going to be pretty good here. Depending on what comes out from Anakin, I imagine it, or depending on what he draws, of course, imagine it'll be Minibot, but he can have effectively almost clear the board next turn. But Avenge Minibot now looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, Avenge is a secret where, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's ever a bad Avenge.
Yeah, the only time Avenge doesn't... was it not Avenge? It was Noble Sacrifice?
Yeah, it was Noble Sacrifice.
Well, I'm being blind. I'm sorry about that.
You were blind and I just followed you.
Yeah,
blind leading the blind.
Yeah, who's worse, actually? I think you following me. Sure. But yeah, talk of Avenge, the only time it's actually really bad is when your opponent already has an answer for it, which you can't really control. But yeah, Noble Sacrifice is going to be just as good because it protects the Divine Shield and the Death Rattle from the Creeper. So, makes it the Zombie Chow slightly less great. And the Creeper can now run into the Chow to remove it off the board. And potentially now get the Juggles as well. The scary thing is now, Anakin doesn't have a good way to deal with whatever comes out of this Void Caller.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the scary thing, right? Is how many demons is your opponent playing? If you don't really know this deck particularly well or know that people have played it before, you may think he's maybe only running a couple of them. So, but we could see here actually triggering the juggles. I think he was maybe hoping to get one to face there.
Yeah, I think with this though, this makes like the mini bot still doesn't quite clear up the Void Walker, but the juggles aren't too much of an issue, and the cog hammer is gonna come down now.
Yeah, so just refilling that shielded mini bot, always a good use of cog hammer to replenish that divine shield.
Yeah, and putting it on the 2/2 just forces the better minion. The good thing now for Anakin is he does have to keep of Alderman to deal with any big minions that come out of the Void Caller.
Well, Implosion is going to be a definite kill here. Gets 3, which is not a bad outcome at all. And now this Void Caller very vulnerable. But that's exactly how Powder wants it, to get either the Dread Infernal or even the Jiraxxus out. Only a 1/1 on board here for Anakin as he plays the Challenger as well, which is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, at least it's a minion though. Even a 1/1's better than actually having nothing, because we can see now if the attack goes in and BGH comes down on the 6/6, which will be at like a 9/8 whatever, then this is such a swingy turn for Powder, and might actually seal the deal. As although Anakin has some good cards in hand, it probably won't be enough to the value that Powder actually has.
Yep. So let's see. Oh, it's gonna go on there, but it's okay because you can use the Void Walker to kill it and get either the Dread Infernal or the Jiraxxus, obviously. So can't BGH the Mysterious Challenger, so that's going to exist on the board. Gets the Dread Infernal to directly challenge the Mysterious Challenger 6/6. And a Thorison as well. Now, this is interesting here. Do you trade the 1/1 to the 2/1, or do you perhaps consider putting the 1/1 into the 6/6 so it doesn't trade with the Thorison? It's a nice discount there. Competitive Spirit puts it into BGH range for next turn. I don't think it's going to be that high value a target come the next turn. It's probably going to do some trading here.
Yeah, and even so though, there's a lot of good options here. Bronzebeard and Healbot, for example, is just ridiculous. Like, who needs Reno, right? When you can just heal for 16 with 2 cards and put the bodies on the board, because once you start to outboard a paladin, so to speak, then they just can't really win. They have no burst capabilities, so they just run out of juice. And if there's something Reno Lock can do, is get it starts to just pump out high value cards all the time.
Yeah, and these are paladin decks which don't in 99% of cases run equality, so there's no board comeback mechanism in them.
Yeah, there is actually no AoE down at the moment though, so there's no way you can say go into the Shredder and then do something like a Hellfire or anything like that. He has 2 mana. I wouldn't even mind BGH, Lotheb, and then go face or something. I think that's plenty, really fine. And you can always Bran Healbot next turn or something like that, or just Jiraxxus next turn if he really wants to start getting that going. Because it just leaves a Shredder and a 1/1 on the board, and you have Lotheb, a 6/6, and obviously the BGH as well.
Yeah, if he had 1 more mana here, you could do the Big Game Hunter and the Bran Healbot, which would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I think Lotheb's okay though, purely because you still have 15 health. That is a lot of health.
So does Big Game Hunter shoot twice with Bran?
It does, but it still just kills the one target. When I first read Bran, I thought you could aim them twice, which I was like, wow, this card is OP, and then I realized, oh, you can't. Never mind.
Yeah, if you could aim twice with Bran would just be so broken.
Yeah. This is interesting.
Distribute damage and double silence and stuff.
Oh, I know, that's what I mean. I was like, wow, this card is insane. Then I realized, I was like, oh, it's still good, but not good. Insane, yeah.
But not absolutely broken. I guess that's a good thing, kind of.
Yeah. So now we can actually go for the juggles to finish off. Oh, he gets it.
Oh, that's huge for Anakin.
So unless we see a big AoE... Ooh. Is there... Nah, there's no world in which you risk it, right? Unless he's happy with just Healbot and Mind Control. Actually, yeah, this is fine, because if you Healbot, then you have Jiraxxus next turn if you still take damage, right? Whereas this, still in the Shredder or something... Oh, even the Juggler, it does juggle as well. Is pretty nice.
It does juggle, which is pretty funny. That's a nice little interaction there. Yeah, he's just going to go for the Healbot, and then I guess taunt up.
Yeah, I mean, he probably doesn't even need to taunt. He is going to because it forces trades, I guess. And he could snipe this 1-1, which will actually be pretty nice.
Yeah, it doesn't snipe the 1-1, but does get the keeper down to 3 health. Consecrate doesn't get a huge amount of work done, actually only kills 1 minion, allows a trade with the 1-1, and I guess the weapon from the muster for battle as well. So makes the trades a little bit more efficient, but certainly not an amazing Consecrate there.
Yeah, it did some work, and he's still developing the board, which is important. The Shredder there, not looking great as Twitch will, although it wasn't bad Shredder placement, it looks bad from this point of view. And now suddenly, Powder pretty much just has to tap for a Reno, and this is going to be rough, as there's not a lot he can actually do. And there's the concede, purely because he didn't get that like, the heal bot felt fine earlier on, but now with that kind of pressure and being able to consecrate and clear the board so easily, just stacked up too much for Powder, and he didn't get the Reno that he actually needed to sort of solidify that game.
Did he go a little bit greedy with the MC tech there?
Yeah, I think he did. It was difficult to, expect the consecrating to muster. As that puts a lot more pressure on, and he had no other AoE, so it's definitely a little bit rough.
Alright, well, it looks like it's going to be Patron coming out for Powder here. Which can be a good matchup against the Secret Paladin, so definitely.
Yeah, Patron's definitely a deck you lock in versus Secret Paladin. A combination of all the Whirlwind effects to clear off the tokens and the low health minions, and then also Execute. So if Challenger comes down, you proc everything. Oh no, it's got 9 attack, it's a big minion, but you probably proc stuff with like Whirlwind effect, and they just execute it, and you're like, yeah, gone, whatever. And also, if you get Patrons down, the Paladin can't really clear that board, unless they're already really ahead on board, but even then it's difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just being able to generate Patrons in this matchup can be huge, and I mean, it was the... before Secret Paladin, people used to think this was such a good matchup just because Paladin wanted to play 1-1s and you just couldn't hero power against Patrons. It was, of course, pre-Secret Paladin and pre-Warsong nerf. It does apply to a certain extent.
Yeah. Although, looking at Powder's hand, it's looking pretty reasonable. The Armor Smith's going to be good to proc get down if that's what, if Powder thinks that's the secret. Good to just trade away with little tokens as well, but also going into Fire War Axe and Despite and a Slam. He has all the good ways to deal with the beginning of the Paladin minions.
And there's an Acolyte as well. Yeah, you can just trigger the Noble Sack here and maybe even Battle Rage.
Yeah, I think even with, you could risk
hasn't damaged his face yet, unfortunately. He could have got the face. If he had the face damage, he could have gone for the battle rage there. But yeah, just going for the Acolyte to get some more card draw.
Yeah, this is fine because because he's seen it's not competitive spirit, then the mini bot isn't going to just straight up kill it. So you're almost guaranteed at least 2 draws from the Acolyte, which you're normally very happy with.
Here comes the muster for battle, and that is going to help Powder with these with the draw here. Anakin wisely clearing off the Armor Smith.
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, he has Despite to then deal with a lot of these 1-1s. But now, with Comp Spirit down, that's actually a little bit scary. And he'll probably be able to tell it's Comp Spirit very quickly when he trades this Acolyte into a 1-1.
Yeah, so...
Now he needs Whirlwind.
First.
So now... Oh, he is just going to go for Despite. I suppose, like the Comp Spirit going off on 2 1-1s isn't terrible at all. Especially when, he does have a Whirlwind effect, and he still has the Acolyte down himself, which can't be killed by the weapon alone.
Yeah, he could clear this up pretty well with the 2 minions, so it's not too bad. Lots of options in the hand for Anakin here, though, as the piloted Shredder to come down turn 4, or any combination of the 2 Haunted Creepers and piloted Shredder, if he wants to spread the damage out.
Yeah, I think the Shredder is just going to be pretty nice. And dude... This is always a tough one. Like, do you attack into Shredder? Oh, he's saying well played. He thinks there's Patrons, which is quite funny because there isn't. Slam attack base, maybe. Or even Execute, if he wants to.
He might slam attack the 2-2 as well. And play Frothing. That works. Well, we'll see what he gets off the Shredder, if he'll be punished for that. He's really thinking about this Frothing Berserker. Doesn't go for it, though. Just going to trade in.
Yeah, he wants to see what comes out of the Shredder first.
And, as Raven deals with another dog emergency, He was rewarded for his cautiousness there. Of course, the 3-2 would have traded with the Frothing Berserker at this point, and now requires the weapon and the minion to go in. Now there is a cog hammer, so you can protect the minion here and play something like Minibot or Creeper. Yeah, so gets the good trade there, Anakin. And this is this lined up pretty nicely for him with that cog hammer. Able to clear off the Frothing Berserker with the minion, keeping it alive. But Powder does have that Fiery War Axe, the one he's held on to all game. After drawing the second one now.
Yeah, and you know what? That Bone Guard Lieutenant can actually get quite scary. If you can't deal with it straight away, suddenly it starts to gain quite a lot of health. And when it becomes like, you know, like a 3-5 or something, like, you're like, oh my god, like this will just never die. It's very rough.
Yeah, just an armor up. Look, thought about Battle Rage there, Powder, but just wanted to keep that for a greater turn later on. Does have a Sludge Belcher for next turn, but these minions are really sticky here for Anakin. And this is one of the problems with the Secret Paladin. It's very hard to clear the board sometimes.
Yeah, and not getting patrons or anything this early. Like, imagine patrons on this board. Whoa, double whirlwind though. That's going to be really nice, because you'd imagine these minions are going to trade into the... at least a couple of them are going to trade into the Belcher. So that then means that he can actually just whirlwind away the minions and try and even up the game. Because the thing as well is, like, Patron isn't just reliant on the patrons themselves, the Patron Warrior. It has, like, Dr. Boom, it has Grom, potentially Shredders and things like that. You know, like other 4-drop minions to actually put some more pressure on than just relying on those 3/3s.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why this version of the Patron still does very well, is because it's effectively just a very efficient mid-range deck with an ability to create a board very quickly with things like Patrons. It is very reminiscent of the very earliest Patron builds. I think Chaki was playing in the Kingwin tournament around a year ago when Patron first came out, of having things like Boom and Shredders and Grom in that deck.
Yeah, and even as recently as the NA prelims, Chaki said if you're not playing Dr. Boom in all 3 of your decks, then you're doing it wrong. And you know what? I can't completely disagree with him.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're bringing something like Freeze Mage, then or Face Hunter, I guess. But...
Hey, I play Boom in my Face Hunter, believe it or not.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I mean, you are the Hunter specialist here, Alex, so...
Or the guy just plays a lot of Hunter, you know, one or the other. Maybe Specialist might be too much of a compliment, but I try.
I say Specialist because I'm optimistic. If you're pessimistic, you could say he's not good at any other class. But
sure.
we'll let you guys decide that.
Sure. He does clear off the Sludge Belcher with the Execute, and he has a second Execute, so it's not like he's, you know, going too much into this. And an Armor Smith behind a Sludge Belcher is one of the best things in the world. It gains so much armor.
Yeah, especially with that double Whirlwind and Inner Rage. If there's a Patron drawn here, Powder can just take this game over instantly.
Yeah, I mean, even the Dr. Boom isn't too much of a problem because there is a Whirlwind and Execute as well. So, you know, he still has a lot of ammo, to be said to a certain extent, to be able to deal with all this. And he could attack into the Minibot, Whirlwind and Execute. It just leaves the 1/1 Creepers up, which is still an issue, but not too much of an issue once Patrons start rocking on the board. Or he can Whirlwind Execute and play his own Dr. Boom. Seems good. Oh, this is actually better. So we can do pop the Creeper without popping any of the tokens.
Just seeing how he lines this up here. Yeah, as you say, has the Execute for the Boom and Whirlwind. And his own Boom, which, if he can get down here, pretty nice.
Yep, and he's going to axe into the other Creeper then to just reduce the tokens and stop them spawning, which is a pretty good play if he chooses to do it. It really does just reduce the threat level on the board.
Yeah, you can see Powder just thinking this turn over. It's a pretty complicated one. Let's see, I'm going to pop these Creeper tokens. Only one will spawn. And the Whirlwind.
What do the Boom bots do? It's the question we all want answering. 4 to the Armor Smith and 1 to Face. That went pretty good for Powder.
Actually, yeah, decides not to play the Doctor Boom, decides to go for the second Whirlwind to clear the board here with the Corset follow-up. I don't mind this, actually, because you can see your opponent only has 1 card, and unless it is something particularly scary, Truesilver is not really that. Dr. Boom on your own to follow up yourself is a pretty good play.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And you know what? You know that one card isn't Doctor Boom. So, and even like your own Doctor Boom does pretty okay versus Tyrion as well. So, it's definitely not too bad just clearing up and then waiting for the boom. And there's a Grim Patron as well.
The turn after he played 2 Whirlwinds, of course.
And what's going to be crazy is that the Keeper of Alderman's probably going to come down this turn. Oh, the Mysterious Challenge changed a few things. But the Keeper of Alderman's probably going to come down on the boom, and then the weapon's going to get used so that the patrons are a little bit better. But now with the secrets down, and obviously the Challenger, that was actually an insane top deck from Anakin.
Yeah, just getting the Challenger around him. As I said, that if your opponent's only on 1 card and you continue to not draw anything scary, and he continues to not draw anything scary like Tyrion or Challenger, then you're in a good spot.
But now this is huge for Powder, though, because the Cruel Taskmaster is actually pretty decent, depending on where these Boombots go. So let's see what happens. So the Boombot hits... Oh, is that for 4?
Yeah, killed the Keeper.
Oh my god. And it does get Avenged. So now he can run the Boombot into the 2-1, see where it lands, and potentially Grim Patron, Cruel Task in a rage.
I've never seen that before, that a minion dies and then gets avenged.
Oh, haven't you? Oh,
No.
we only got it for 1.
Ah.
Okay, so now do you actually just in a rage and then Grim Patron Taskmaster your patron?
I feel like you have to, right? Because otherwise, how do you win the game?
Yep.
If you
And the
use
good
Cruel
thing is-
Taskmaster to like kill this 1/1, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, you 100% don't. The 1-1's good for you because it can't trade. So like it has to almost run the 1-1 into the 2-2, and then just hope. Ooh, and that is probably going to end the game. 6-6 goes into the middle patron. Consecrate clears up the board, and Powder's still potentially in it if he draws Grom, I guess, and that's what he's holding on for, I think. But definitely.
What activators does he have left? He has Death Spite.
No, he just charges it in for 6-3.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm just thinking about his win condition. So it gets that patron, but there's no point in playing it now.
Oh, and Avenge is actually not the worst draw in the world for Anakin, as continuing to buff these minions is going to be pretty huge. And Powder is probably going to continue or concede, or potentially concede based off this next draw.
Yep. We'll see what he gets here. As you say, I think the Grom would probably be the only thing.
Ooh, slam! I bet he wished he had a Whirlwind left.
Yeah. Slam into Whirlwind and Patron. How huge would that have been? Acolyte as well. I don't think there's any way out for Powder here.
I think he could just Acolyte armor up. I think he has like at least 1 more draw left in him.
Yeah. Just trying to think of, I mean, I guess some kind of... He doesn't have any Whirlwind effects apart from the Death Spite left, right?
Hmm.
And he's no way to draw Death Spite and activate the Whirlwind straight away.
Well, the thing is here, and what's good is that what he's relying on now is, well, Anakin either runs the 6-1 into the Acolyte to stop all the draws, or he doesn't, and then the Acolyte can potentially get 3 draws. So that might draw him in, draw him back into the game. Haha, good pun. So this is actually really interesting. This game could actually still be Powder's, and Zombie Chow isn't really going to help Anakin out. And Anakin's just going to ignore the Acolyte and reduce those draws down to 1 a turn then. Or he might actually just run into the 6-1. We'll see.
And Anakin playing Zombie Chow in his Secret Paladin is interesting. Something we saw towards the end of last year.
Oh, Death Spite. Oh my god, if the Chow gets buffed. Oh, and a Ghoul! Oh my god, this is actually insane. So he's going to... well, he could actually play... Yeah, Death Spite into the Ghoul first. Death Spite into the... what's that bloody card called? The Zombie Chow first. Armor up, and then Ghoul, Grim Patron, and kill the 4-3 and the 1-1s next turn. And then you're almost... you guaranteed patrons, and they're hid behind a Ghoul.
Now, Powder's thinking here whether or not he can afford to hit the 4-3 or whether or not he needs to heal.
I don't think he can. I think the heal's far too safe. Because there's 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's on how much? 13? So 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so he's safe versus Blessing of Kings, which is the important part. And then next turn he does some work with the Ghoul and the Patrons and the Death Spite effect.
So you play the Ghoul now? Or not?
No. What you do is you attack next turn, and then play Patron, attack, Ghoul. So then you get 4 Patrons once the Ghoul's procced.
Right. But
It's whether he can survive.
yeah, this is...
Because now he'll take 3. Armor up. See, this might be too much now. Okay. So at least he can Battle Rage for a couple more cards. But then he can only draw one. He only has 1 mana free. That Keeper of Uldaman was actually massive.
Is there a second Execute in the deck? There must be left, right?
Didn't he use one on the Belcher? He used one on the Belcher and one on the right. Dr. Boom.
So if there was
he needed an Armor Smith, to be honest.
Yeah, if there was a second Execute... Well, yeah, so if you Battle Rage here, you can't play Armor Smith, so if there was a second Execute, which you're right, I don't think there is, but if there was, that would be the only thing I think that would save you. So is Powder now not going to attack with the Death Spite this turn? Okay, he is going to attack.
Yeah, he wants to double Battle Rage and
right.
to still have mana to play something this turn. Inner Rage and... Oh, a second Ghoul. Wow. But you can't play the Patron. Okay, so you definitely play the second Ghoul because it clears the board. So second Ghoul, Armor up. Next turn you Patron Inner Rage and just hope for the best.
All right,
this is so tense.
Yeah, this is coming down to the wire here, this Patron match. Yeah, you play the second Ghoul.
And bear in mind, he still has Grom, so Grom in a Rage does 12, so that's 2-turn lethal there and then.
Oh, the Belcher. That's a good pickup for Anakin.
Yeah, but what's crazy is if so the Belcher comes down this turn, he will survive it because he can armor up, and then Grim Patron in a Rage, the 5/2 Patron can attack in to kill the Sludge. Oh, and he can even play. He can play everything this turn. Oh my god, this game.
Yeah. Okay. This is getting close here.
Top deck is required from Anakin. Something along the lines of Blessing of Kings, another Truesilver, something like that. Maybe Consecrate does it actually. So there's a lot of top decks that win him the game.
Any direct damage?
3, 4,
I mean,
5.
but this is potential lethal.
Oh my god!
He could juggle for the 1 in 4 juggle.
He's not going to. Okay. And I think this is actually correct.
Yeah, I think so.
Because oh my god. I mean, it is a 1 in 4, 25% now, and oh, the Dread Corsair.
That's a great pickup for Powder. The taunt here, so huge. Is this going to be a comeback for Powder?
So he kills the Juggler as well with the Frothing Berserker, I believe.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
Especially now you've got the taunt, because then the Frothing's protected.
Yeah.
And this Frothing's going to be huge.
Oh, Juggle!
Oh, the Juggle to the Patron!
Oh my god, value time.
That's amazing.
And he's already armored up, so he's on 3. So like an Owl doesn't do this anymore. Oh, Consecrate does it. Oh, the Consecrate wins him the game. Oh my god.
For Powder.
Insane.
Is going to win this game for the skin of his teeth. Anakin is going to go 2-0 up here. That's heartbreaking for Powder, because now he has to win 3 games in a row with his final deck after being so close to that epic comeback. I think anything that wasn't direct damage there, and Powder wins the game next turn, right?
Yeah, well, even like Blessed of Kings isn't enough, because you have to run the Blessed of Kings into the 3/3,
right,
so then you only have 1 damage, and then Powder kills it next turn.
So it was exactly
Powder had Grom as well as his next draw, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because that was all he had left. Wow, what a game that was! That was
crazy.
Absolutely,
that was absolutely nuts.
Well, we are going to game number 3, which is match point now for Anakin. Anakin has 3 match points against Powder, which would be a big upset for Anakin.
Yeah, obviously, as Anakin, you're feeling pretty damn good here, and it's going to be a Paladin Mirror.
Yeah, and mirror matches never feel that great. So, but we did see the Zombie Chow from Anakin, which I think is interesting. Potentially helps him in the early game if he can pick it up. We'll see what Powder has, if he has anything which will help him in the mirror. Well, there's a Quartermaster in Anakin's. Well, he does get the Zombie Chow, which is pretty huge, and a Creeper to follow up. I'm really not sure if I like the Quartermaster in Secret Paladin. I'm not sure. What do you think about the Quartermaster in Secret Paladin, Alex?
I mean, to be honest, from Anakin, doesn't surprise me too much, because he does like to play interesting things, different things in the deck.
Interesting. I just think not as good.
Yeah, I mean, Secret Paladin still has some slots that you can mess with. And Quartermaster is definitely a surprise factor, which might be important for tournaments actually. So we'll see how it turns out. But having it in his hand now is super dead. Like that could be like a shredder, or like that could be just something a lot better.
Well, even in the 5 slot, it could be Lothar, which you just play on turn 5 quite happily. We did see the Zombie Chow come out and die from Anakin. I do like the Zombie Chow in Secret Paladin actually. Sort of an anti-aggro tech.
Yeah, I'm like just super against Chow over Secret Keeper. I just think Secret Keeper's too good, personally. But
yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah, I think the issue is like it's so good in the mirror if you have it and they don't, and then in any other matchup, it's a high priority target no matter what. So we are just going to see Token Wars, and there's the Secret Keeper drawn from Powder. But obviously this is turn 4 and he has a Shredder, so there's only one real play. And these guys playing around Avenge here by going face. But maybe he doesn't attack because he has Avenge. I actually wouldn't mind not even attacking because you have the better minions, right? You have a Shredder and a 1/1 versus 2 1/1s, so...
Yeah, I mean, if Avenge hits the 4/3, what does your opponent do?
Yeah, and then and if your opponent like passes, then as in doesn't attack the 1/1, then fine, you keep a 1/1 and you still have Avenge, right? And then you just play Lothar, and then things start to get a bit more out of hand. But now Coghammer's going to do some work because he has killed the 1/1.
Well, Belcher just comes down for Anakin. And then, well, Belcher on the backswing for Powder, but I think, he's going to use the Coghammer to clear this up. Yeah,
and he can even drop the Secret Keeper as well. And the thing is, like, all 3 of those minions now have to trade into the Shredder, like, from this view on board, to be able to kill it. The Shredder thing still survives, and this forces the Avenge. Oh, unless he just doesn't attack now. Not attacking seems pretty good.
Yeah, I really like not attacking here when your opponent's got a secret up, because you demand that they deal with your secrets first.
And this does look like it's playing... What card are we playing here? So it's not playing the Repentance, it's just the Comp Spirit.
So we have Avenge, and then Avenge, Noble Sack, Redemption, and Competitive Spirit on the other side.
Yeah, let's see what happens though. Where does this Avenge go? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is one of the times where you probably want the Avenge on the 6/6. Because you want to reduce down the volume of minions that do a lot of damage, so then you can start to block that damage out. Ooh, Lothar. But I'm interested that he didn't drop the Belcher here. Because then the thing is, if you drop the Belcher, then both minions that no matter which one you kill, there's a taunt with Avenge. Which causes even more issues for your opponent.
Yeah, I like the Belcher here as well, just because there's purely because there's a lot of damage on your opponent's side and will prevent that coming in. But Powder disagrees. Going to put the Noble Sack up.
Yeah, this is good because then the natural response here is to run in with the 1/1, or now the 2/2, which will die. So then it requires like a bigger health minion to run into the 4/1, which is very good value when you're making a large attack minion run in. But here we go. That Quartermaster, guys. That Quartermaster.
Well, a 7/6 Silverhand recruit.
That dude has been promoted to hell. He is like Master Commander, dude.
Yeah. Still not sure I like the card, but I guess it's okay in this situation.
Yeah, and it really interesting that attack, because then we saw like the lowest attack minion go into the 2/1, whereas I kind of would have liked guarding the health on the bigger guys, to be honest. Still feels pretty good though, as Anakin does have quite the commanding board, and Powder's still that 1 turn away from dropping Tyrion, but he does have Belcher into what's probably going to be Secret Keeper, maybe just Hero Power, but I don't see why you wouldn't drop Secret Keeper instead.
Yeah, this is looking pretty rough for Powder though, right?
Yes, it is.
Pretty rough. We'll get to Challenger. Does that change things?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Challenger does. I think Challenger Secret Keeper is pretty good.
Imagine if playing Challenger buffed Secret Keeper.
Oh my god, that'd be so good. I'd love it. It feels so wrong, but so right at the same time.
Unfortunately, it doesn't for Powder, so it just has the 6/6 and the 1/2. But being able to play a minion with the Challenger is just good enough. But Anakin's just going to play his own Challenger. I think there's only going to be a Noble Sack, I assume. No secrets at all, yeah, because he played the Noble Sack from hand.
Yeah, he played both.
Just check Powder's here. It sees the usual suite of Noble Sack Avenge, Competitive Spirit, and Redemption. Just letting all the secrets go off here. Of course, the Noble Sack and Redemption, somewhat negative synergy, but it just all works to disrupt your opponent. And Powder, he has 12 damage on board here, but he's going to need to trade. Keeper is interesting. There might be an argument for keepering the Challenger here, just to keep it alive if you're able to clear the other 3 minions, but I don't think you're going to. I think you're just going to go for the Tyrion.
Yep, Tyrion always feels the right to play on turn 8. It's like the Dr. 8, some would say.
Exactly. That's the problem with Mysterious Challenger, with Secret Paladin, right? As Dr. 6, Dr. 7, and Dr. 8.
Yep.
So what do you clear here? Do you... All these 3 minions, there's merit to clearing, I think, the 4-2 and the 2-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go for the clear on the highest attack minion, and then Tyrion.
Yeah, and what this does actually, this makes the worst trade on the Tyrion. Obviously, if you discount the fact that Truesilver's a card, because Powder can't play around cards he doesn't know around when you've got to play around the board as a priority. But this made the trade as awkward as possible, which was as good for him. But oh my god, Powder getting ruined by Consecrate again. Oh my god, is this just going to be game?
I mean, it feels pretty close to it.
There's like almost just no out now.
No, this
Juggler's not going to help. Belcher just dies. This is Get Down, right? Oh, it's Avenge. Okay. So he can... Hopefully the Avenge goes on the 3-1. This is Powder 1, and then he reduces it back down to a 3-3.
Yeah, that does it. Does get that. Okay, so he can put it down to a 3-3. And then play the Belcher, but it looks like he's going to play the Juggler and try to take out one of the 1-1s. Yeah,
well, it's not going to be enough because he can just... he needs to kill a 1-1 here, actually.
And, oh, misses Ghostface. Second time. Does get the 1-1, okay. I mean, Double Shredder is great for Anakin to establish his board and just keep the pressure on. He can't necessarily win this turn now, but he's feeling pretty secure at 23 health versus 3 health. Oh man, Double Shredder. Yeah, just fill the board, kill the Belcher, I think, and then just go face with one. Oh, do you trade with the 1-1? Might favor the trade with the 1-1. The spawning that hero power token does get killed as well with the Knife Juggler. So I don't think there's any way out of this for Powder.
Nope. Doomsayer?
I guess you got to play to your Doomsayer out.
Yep, you can kill 2 Shredders to go for it. I'm pretty sure he has to run the 3-2 into the 4-3 now.
Yeah, you don't really have a choice. You just have.
Oh, is he working out whether he can clear with Muster? If he like, so he can kill the 1-4, and then play Muster. The Juggles. Where can the Juggles go?
But he can play all 3 Juggles on the...
Well, he has 4 Juggles, right? Because he can hero power.
Right.
So he would need Juggle onto the 1-1, Juggle all 3 onto the Shredder. Okay. This is interesting. What's he going for?
I mean, I think he's just dead. He's going to juggle... Well... He's got 1 more Juggle here to try and kill the 1-1. Does get the kill, so can trade with the Shredder gets the... If he gets... 0 attack minion was exactly what he needed. And he gets Lore Walker Chill, so Powder is still in this. But
This is actually pretty crazy. I don't know if he can pull back enough damage, but still pretty crazy.
He needed exactly a 0 attack minion. And he got it. So
Mini card, mini bot, definitely not the card, and that's going to seal the deal. As Powder gets 3-0'd by Anakin and his Secret Paladin, so that one just can't feel great, and that is a big name out of this tournament. I mean, Anakin obviously plays for Team Dignitas as well, but Powder has been in the scene for so long and has so many great results that, being knocked out's got to hurt. But congratulations to Anakin, though. That's a pretty big win for him quite early on in the tournament.
Absolutely, and he's going to try and